We'll go back to mic number 2.
Yes, my name is William Tuchak. I'm a longtime resident, and my concern is about the municipal property tax. In the period 2000 to 2010, my municipal property tax has risen $1,682.96. That's an increase of 79.89707%. I have to be precise. In the same period, the Consumer Price Index, the CPI, has never been over 3%. So there's about a 5% spread on the average for each of those 10 years. Now we have 5 members of previous councils that are on the stage today, and up to this point in time, I haven't received any assurance that my property tax for municipal affairs will not rise 8%. And that's my statement. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to a couple of incumbents we haven't heard from yet. Mr. Lemieux and Mr. Bracco. Mr. Lemieux first.
Sure, thank you very much. William, is it? I can't see you from over here. So.
He's gone.
Is that correct? Thank you for your question. I, too, like you, am a taxpayer, and my taxes have risen as well. But something that we sometimes forget is that our property value has also risen. So your house...
Are you going to sell? Are you going to sell out?
Get to you after Mr. Bracco.
Your house in the year 2000, as my home, was valued at X number of dollars. In 2010, I'm sure that value has increased.
All right. Mr. Bracco?
Thank you. Thank you. Again, as Mr. Doucette said, seniors are leaving. Others have to leave. Youth have to leave. The taxes are increasing. But we have to look at the reasons why. Again, wages have increased provincially during the boom times. We can't control that. It's how the province manages manages growth. It affects every municipality. The federal government has mandated that we have water inspectors that are qualified, so we have to hire new people. Costs keep increasing. We have an infrastructure debt in St. Albert that we must address. We cannot hand this down to our children and grandchildren. And this is part of the operating costs. Life cycle maintenance and replacement is needed, and we all have to be part of that. There's many other areas. We were behind in some of the human service needs because of cutbacks from the provincial and federal governments in recessionary times. And so there are ways to maximize the benefit from my tax dollar, and one is through health care. Chronic illnesses, according to the Alberta Health Services, can be reduced by $4 billion. And we need to start using that to maximize, to move to where the infrastructure needs are. For example, the cancer people, clients who have, cancer patients, if they exercised and proper diet can reduce the cost by a considerable number because it won't recur. We can make tremendous cuts. This is according to a study by Alberta Health Services. I do my research, and now I apologize if it didn't come across the way I intended it to, because that's not the way I am. But I'm looking at the $4 billion if it's utilized. Even LRT to St. Albert would reduce healthcare costs. The UPass has taken cars off of our roads, and anytime there's more than 20,000 cars on the road, it's going to be health problems for the seniors and also for our youth. So there's a lot of things we can do. Planning needs to be done between Alberta Health Services and our planners and developers to reduce the cost, and this is.
Thanks, Mr. Bracco. All right, a couple of the candidates are very eager to jump in on this as well. We'll start with Cam McKay.
Thanks for the question, Bill. You know, the real problem is that we need a change in corporate culture here. We can come up with tons of excuses why things have gone up, but the fact of the matter is when your wages are here and taxes are up here, that's a problem. Instead of benchmarking against other cities as to how they spend their money, let's start benchmarking against the wages of the people in this town that pay these bills. You know, if your wages go up 5%, we shouldn't see tax increases of 25%.
Thank you. And this being an all-candidates forum sponsored by the St. Albert Taxpayers Association, we probably should have guessed this topic's going to be a little hot. James Van Dam, please, and then Stanley Haroon. Okay. And then Malcolm Parker.
Well, as we can see, taxes have gone up year after year, the last 10 years, and it continues to go up. This is not sustainable for St. Albert. 10 years from now, none of us will most likely be able to afford to live here. So we need to start looking at new revenue streams, need to start balancing the budget, and we need to find ways to bring in dollars into St. Albert. We have to stabilize our property taxes. And some of the things I made in my opening speech is I'm looking at other programs such as doing an RRSP plan where we're investing in our city in the infrastructure, and you're still getting a federal tax break from the RRSP, and then you're getting a return on it. So this is ways we're bringing in new revenue streams into St. Albert, and we should exercise things like that as well as balancing the budget. And that's where I think we can stabilize our taxes here.
Thank you. Stan Haroon?
Thank you. I think as long as City Council can raise your taxes anytime they feel like it, this problem will continue. What I'm proposing is of twofold. One, we must have a limit on tax increases. And what I'm proposing is tax increases to the limit of the increase in the cost of living just for the next 3 years. Along with that, we will have to have a serious, measurable plan to increase non-residential taxes, to bring businesses here into our city, to increase the non-residential taxes base. We have to force the new council's hand to do business differently. If we don't, it will be just the same. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Malcolm Parker and then Robin Morrison. You haven't answered yet. We'll pop you in there, okay? Thanks.
Being commercial and light industrial, we're way out of balance. As you know, I chair the Economic Development Committee, and we've been pushing very hard for economic development in this community. On the last campaign, there was a couple of us that brought forward the economic development as a priority and the 80-20 goal. Every other candidate jumped on that bandwagon. We look at what happened over the last 3 years, and it's been minimal. So first of all, let's do something to attract business to this community. The second thing is, when we talk about managing our finances, we have to show fiscal responsibility, fiscal restraint. It's no different than you and your household, and if you've got 2 adults working there, bringing in an income, if you continue to spend more than what you're bringing in, guess what? You're going to go into debt, and you know what that does. So what we have to do is take a look at how we're managing our finances, and you've heard this from all the candidates tonight, and there are different things we can do. I think we have to change the mindset and get an attitude out there with council and administration that what would you do if it was your money? How would you spend it? And answer that question honestly. And so I heard tonight, last night, I didn't watch the council meeting, but they talked about the purchase of statues. And if that was a discretionary expense and we can't afford it, then we don't do it. And it's very simple.
And Robin?
Like many of my counterparts have said today, it comes down to what we need and what we want. And what we need is industry. What we need is business. We need to get off of the dependency on residential taxes. And honestly, I think a good way to do that is we need to look with our city employees and city administration and help them and help them come up with better cost-saving methods, whether it's taking, removing programs or reorganizing programs. It's a simple concept. If we spend more than we have, all of our wants and haves that we are going to want to bring into the city, the DARPs, the Millennium Parks, it's going to be useless because nobody will be able to afford to live here.
All right. We'll go back to mic number 1 now. The next question.
My name is Karen Andreessen. I've been a long-time resident of Braeside. I'm wondering what initiative this council is prepared to take, if any, concerning to address our ever-increasing shortage of doctors in this community. And also, do you foresee some sort of partnering and providing a facility where it will encourage a variety of doctors to want to come and work in St. Albert?
Okay.
Thank you. This is for anyone who wants to answer.
All right. I have a few nods. We'll go with Aisling Pollard-Kensel, Nolan Kraus, and Mr. Park. We have to give a few more people chances. Aisling?
This issue is actually very personal to me as well. When I came back from Prague, I had a big shock from my doctor. He didn't want me anymore. He's been my doctor since I was a baby. I ignored him. I keep going. I don't make appointments. I just show up at his office.
Is he a pediatrician?
No.
Okay, keep going.
No, he's not.
Good.
So perhaps, when I was a little older than a baby.
Okay.
Let's be correct here. In any case, he suggested I go into Edmonton. I'm not. I'm going to keep seeing him. I did ask him how to attract doctors to our community and how to make, it makes no sense that our residents have to go into Edmonton to commute for doctor's appointments, and it's unacceptable. And I think that would be a big priority because basically I'd like to get health care in the city in which I live.
And I did not mean to make light of that. Nolan Kraus?
No, it's great.
Thank you very much. This is clearly a priority for me, and I'll tell you why and how it's a priority. On Monday night, this coming Monday night, I'm bringing forward a proposal that is inclusive of an entire plan to bring forward to the next council, if I'm elected, that will deal with 3 or 4 things. One of them is the recruitment of doctors, and that would require a small group of residents to help that. The second one is one where residents have approached me on a philanthropic approach to this, where one particular business person is prepared to perhaps build a building as part of his legacy. And the third one is recruiting a proper management structure around what I'll call primary care networking. So I'm assuming for a moment that the council is going to support that on Monday night, but that proposal is something I'm bringing forward on October 4th.
Thank you.